Welcome back to another exciting episode of Cyber Defense TV. I'm your host, Gary Malevsky, and the publisher of Cyber Defense Magazine. In the hot seat today is my very special guest, Mike McKee, who is the CEO of a very cool company in cybersecurity, who's doing something so important, ObserveIT. And we're talking about insider threat management and mitigation.
Exactly right, Gary. Good to be here. And it's an especially hot seat today, being 110 degrees here in Vegas, but thank you for having me.
Yeah, welcome to the hot seat. So ObserveIT is a fast-growing company, and you are solving one of the big problems in cybersecurity that people usually don't think about. They think, oh, somebody sent out a spear phishing attack or whatever. It's an outsider, it's the bad guys. But we're finding that more and more breaches happen from the inside out.
That's exactly right, Gary. There's, as more and more people and more companies bring on contractors, project workers, millennials change jobs, more people have access to more information more different ways. People are a huge area that organizations need visibility on, and if you look at all the information around different data breaches, 50% of the time a data breach involves someone on the inside, whether it's malicious or accidental. It's essential to have that visibility and the early warning signs when they're doing something outside of security policies.
So there's a thing we call time-based security. Exposure time equals detection time plus response time. The old formula from my friend Win Schwartau.
Yes.
You are reducing the exposure time because you're detecting the insider threat. What is the response and the response time? Is that you sending an alert to a third-party dashboard? Is it your own dashboard? How does the team get that alert and deal with it?
Yeah, great point. One of the truisms in security right now is there's too many alerts and not enough people. And our greatest value add is decreasing that mean time to respond and that mean time to detect. So what we're doing is providing context around the alert so people know what happened before, what happened after, and who was involved. So it's all about giving security teams the certainty that they understand what happened very, very quickly in minutes as opposed to days or weeks. They can see the alerts in our console, or they can feed it to their SIM and see the alerts there. Sometimes it's done in a security operations center. Sometimes it's a pure insider threat risk team that's taking a look at it.
Well, let me give you two weird insider threat cases.
Okay.
One is the old story of TJ Maxx.
Yes.
The hacker spoofed the MAC address of a barcode scanner behind the corporate firewall at a Marshall's.
Yes.
Sitting in the Marshall's in a parking lot with a Pringles can. He became an insider. He started misbehaving.
Sounds like a TV show here again.
Yeah. Why does a barcode scanner have access to a SQL database with 100 million Visa credit cards? Would you have stopped that threat, or at least alerted quick enough to catch them and stop them?
So, cybersecurity is all around decreasing risk. What we do is allow you to see abnormal behavior more quickly. So, would we have got that person right away? I'm not sure. Would we have got them much earlier in the process than actually happened? Definitely.
That's great. And then we go to the newer case, Capital One. A consultant who was so proud of her hacking skills, bragging about it, which allowed her to get captured. She'll probably write a book and be famous.
Yes.
How would you have been deployed in that situation?
Yeah, so when we talk about insider threat, we're talking about employees and contractors. And as I said before, more organizations are using more contractors. Estimates are by 2020, 40% of workers will be contractors. So what we're doing is, as soon as that person comes onto the network, we have a lightweight user mode agent that's on the endpoint, whether that be a desktop or a server, and we're able to see everything that person's doing. So the minute that they're going places that they shouldn't, the minute they're starting to exfiltrate data, we're going to provide an alert and an early warning system, and then allow folks to understand how the person got in, what they're doing when they're on the inside. Our mission is to empower organizations to know the whole story, with the WHO in bold, because once again, it's nice to have alerts. It's more important to have the context around those alerts.
And this is about the human factor in cybersecurity.
Exactly, yeah.
It's people behind the firewall.
Listen, at the end of the day, most of the time, data doesn't go out on itself. Files don't go out on itself. Customer information, trading algorithms, code doesn't leave on itself most of the time. There's almost always a person involved. And that's what we're trying to do, is make sure organizations have that visibility.
Do you have a tough time getting customers to allow you to brag about them? In other words, it's so good, they don't want anyone to know that they're using you.
It's funny you say that. It's one thing for an organization to say they got hacked by China or Russia or something like that. It's another thing for them to say that one of their employees or one of those contractors who they gave a badge to, who they gave access to, has taken information. So it's not something that organizations normally want to talk about, understandably, but it's something that they have to deal with more and more.
And there's so many regulations coming out, so much pressure. I would think even, for example, GDPR talks about big fines for privacy breaches. It's usually a malicious insider stealing a lot of records. They have access, they have the keys to the castle. So you're going to have a lot of risk in Europe and other places if there's a 3% fine on your revenues because you didn't deal with the insider threat.
Huge. And a lot of times we're proving people innocent as much as we're proving them guilty.
That's a good thing too.
So often security teams have had to take log files from different tools and deduce what happened. What we provide them is that actual transcript, and if they need a video of the monitor of exactly what happened.
Are you deployed through channel partners or direct?
Both. So we have hundreds of partners globally. We have both direct and channel. We're moving more and more in the direction of leveraging the channel and working through partners. They have the relationships, they have services expertise, and that's very important when it comes to complementing our insider threat technology.
Now, for insider threat protection, mitigation, defense, is this something that's difficult to deploy? Does it take a long time, or can anybody deploy it?
Super simple. It's literally hours, because all you're doing is putting a small, lightweight agent on the endpoint, and then right away you're getting all of the metadata coming from that machine. What can take a while are tuning the different alerts, meaning so the reactive investigation, visibility, it's there literally day one. I mean, I would say that almost a third of the time, people will find an incident in a 2-week proof of value that they do with us. Because all of a sudden, all the prevention tools they have, the policies they have set up, they realize there's gaps in those. And they see things that shouldn't be done. To get the proactive detection piece going in the alerts, you want to make sure you're tuning those as you get to as you see what's coming in, so that it's not too noisy.
Is this a VM? Is it an appliance? Is it inline? Is it out of band? How do we deploy?
Agents just get deployed to endpoints. It's a console. It can be done on-prem or it can be done in the cloud, however customers want it.
Sounds great.
And it can be a combination depending on different regulations in different environments, to what you said earlier.
That means you could empower MSSPs to do a better job.
We'll be able to do that, yeah. I mean, it's all about having more data and knowing what happened really quickly. Whether you're the board member, CEO, head of security, if something goes wrong, you just want to know what happened really quickly, and that's what we allow customers to do.
Can the mid-market afford you? Can SMBs, or is it mainly big enterprises?
Yeah, no, mid-market and larger enterprise. We define that as mid-market being 1,000 to 10,000 employees, large enterprise being 10,000 and above. 3/4 of our business are in those mid-market companies because, once again, they don't have enough people and they need to be able to figure out very quickly and very easily. So we actually have, it's a transcript. So it's like you went to Gmail, you opened a file, you renamed that file, you saved it on your C drive. I mean, you can literally read the metadata like a transcript, understand what happened. At larger organizations, they're going to be combining that data with a lot of other information that they have. And one thing related to larger organizations as well is that quite often they're taking security alerts from other tools, whether it be an EDR or a CASB or a DLP, and they're putting it through ObserveIT to get context, because they only can see part of the story with the other alerts. But about half the time they're taking alerts from other security tools and getting that context with ObserveIT.
That sounds great. So
Yeah.
what I would tell our viewers is, if you're worried about the insider threat, you have to have insider threat management and mitigation technology from ObserveIT. And we just learned from the CEO that within 2 weeks, a proof of value is going to prove why you need it and help stop the breach before it happens.
Gary, you should come work for us. This is that was a good pitch.
Thank you so much. You made it through my hot seat in this hot Vegas. Come back another time for an exciting episode of Cyber Defense TV, and check out ObserveIT.com.
Yes.
And enjoy yourself, and come back for some real amazing interviews. Thank you.